Hey Alex, did this game, I guess, have a sense of deja vu at all in terms of they came out really well and it took you guys, a period or so to adjust?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been a topic of conversation here for a little while. Last series too, so something we got to continue to talk about and fix. Not good enough at the beginning. Not good enough in the first period. And you can see when we get to our game what we can do, but not good enough from the start.
Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Hey, Alex, Pete said the other day that they do a good job, or they're a different team when they're playing with a lead. I'm curious kind of what you see from them and what is it that they do to kind of suppress offense when they've got a lead?
I mean, they protect the middle of the ice really well, especially the front of their net. So they're blocking shots and take away the middle of the ice, especially in their defensive zone. So it's just a matter of us finding holes there and taking a look at how we can find a way to expose that. I mean, I thought we got into the ozone. It's just a matter of trying to find ways to score.
Jesse Granger, The Athletic.
And can you maybe take us through when you found out you were going to be moved up to the top line and what that was like playing with those guys?
Yeah, it's a real special privilege playing with players like that. I got asked this before, I think by you as well, and it's just the next man up mentality. When it's your chance to, produce and get the opportunity, you got to step up to the plate.
And we have one last question here from Brian Blessing.
Alex, could you just talk about assignments on face-offs? Both teams having really good success off the draws, and everything's magnified at this time of year.
Yeah, I mean, I think usually ozone draws is always a plan. There's always things that you're trying to run to create offense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I had one that worked tonight and then one that was just kind of ad-lib. Coley did a great job, obviously winning the draw, and they created some traffic in front. So I think both teams are always on high alert, especially when you get to this time of the year. Each other's coverage, you're just trying to find a way to make some plays and get some offense out of it.
Thank you for your time, guys.
You're welcome.
We have Mark Stone and Marc-Andre Fleury here to take your questions. We'll start right away with a question from Ben Goetz.
For Mark Stone, just how much did this game feel similar to game one in terms of they came out strong with a push and it took you guys about a period to find your game?
Yeah, I mean, for whatever reason, our starts in the playoffs haven't been good enough. We've been burnt before. We got burnt again tonight. Can't go down 2-0, expect to win the game. But yeah, I mean, the last two periods we played pretty well, but chasing the game is not an easy task against anybody. But these guys play a good team game when they get the lead. So we got to do a better job with our starts. We got to find our preparation.
Jesse Granger, The Athletic.
For Mark Stone, you mentioned that they play a good team game when they have the lead. You mentioned after game one how important that was to get the lead. What specifically do you think they do so well when they have the lead?
I don't know. They play as a five-man unit for the majority of the game. In the D zone, they're five together. Neutral zone, they're five together. They clog it up pretty good. So, but with that being said, we had a lot of good looks. We had to capitalize on some of those in the second period. I think we had a post, had a chance in the slot. We had lots of chances to score. Power play needs to score. We have our opportunities to claw our way back in the game, but we go down 2 after the first, and we get down 3-0. It's a tough hill to climb, but we'll be ready to go in Montreal.
Next question, Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Also from Mark Stone, I just wanted to ask how much you thought how much you thought Chandler Stevenson not being in the game affected. Obviously, a player that you and Max have played really well with.
It's a big loss. He's been our top centerman all year. You don't replace him, but with that being said, goalie stepped up real well. They played a great game for us. Was poised, skated the middle of the ice really well for Max and I. When you lose guys, somebody's got to step up, and I think Coley's going to do a good job going forward in the series.
We have 3 more questions here. Next question, Kevin McGran.
Hi, this is for Marc-Andre Fleury. I know you've played Montreal plenty of times in your career, but this time is maybe a little bit more special. The stakes are quite high, and you're going back across the border for the first time in I don't know how long it's been since you've been home in Canada. Can you talk about what it will mean for you to play in front of that crowd and the stakes this time and crossing the border business?
It'll be nice. I haven't been back in a little while now. I think since last season before the quarantine. It's always a building that's fun to play in. It's always usually pretty loud. I think they're going up to 500 people in there, so it should be still, maybe not as good as here, but still fun to play in. But the goal is the same. It's always just to go in and grab a win, and then grab the next one in game 2.
David Shane, Las Vegas Review-Journal.
Hi, from Marc-Andre. Can you take us through the third goal? That seemed to be the big one for them. Maybe what you saw that made you decide to go for the poke check there?
Yeah, regretted that as soon as I did. I don't know. I made my mind a little too early about it, and he cut towards the middle, pretty early, and it was too far away. I should not have done that.
Last question, Mark Masters, TSN.
From Mark Stone, Mark, what do you see as the key to getting the power play on track?
I guess possession. They're very aggressive up ice. I got to start with the puck. I don't think we won any of our face-offs to start. And then they get the kill, or they get the clear, and they're very aggressive. So when we get set up, that's when we get our looks. So we had a few chances on the second one. In the second period, when we get set up, we get them moving, get some shots. But we got to find ways to bear down on it. But I think it starts with, starting with the puck, entering the zone with the puck, and getting set up. I don't think that we've done a good enough job setting up the plays to have that sustained ozone time. They've done a pretty good job of getting on us and being aggressive.
Thank you for your time, guys.
Thank you.
We have Coach DeBoer here to take your questions. First question, Ben Goetz.
Ben?
Hey, Pete. I guess just how much did this game remind you of game one in terms of they came out with a good start and it took you guys about a period or so to find your game?
Yeah, similar, a little disappointed obviously with our first 10 minutes. I think we should have been better. We had no excuse tonight. And, unfortunately you get to the Final Four, you spot a team 2 goals. You're playing with fire.
Jesse Granger, The Athletic.
Jesse.
Hey, Pete, you mentioned after the first game how important it was to get the lead because of how well they play when they have the lead. What specifically do you think they do that locks things down so much once they're up a goal?
Well, I mean, they're a good defensive team. I'm not sure that we got locked down tonight. I thought we generated enough chances to dig our way, scratch our way back into that game. Again, so a little unfortunate on some of our opportunities, some posts, and he made some saves when he had to. I don't think it was a case of us getting locked down once we got behind. I actually thought we generated some really good looks over the last 40 minutes.
David Shane, Las Vegas Review Journal.
Hey, David.
Hi, Pete. Is there an update on Chandler Stevenson and how did his absence affect things from your perspective?
Upper body injury, and I would call him day to day, and it affects you, but everybody's dealing with it. There's nobody that's got a healthy roster this time of year.
Justin Emerson, Las Vegas Sun.
Justin.
Hey, Pete, I wanted to ask how you felt about the push there at the end. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but from kind of the time that Pietrangelo scored that second goal, it seemed like you guys were on him till the end, and obviously didn't get that last one. But what do you think about the way that the guys finished out the game?
Yeah, again, I thought the second period and the third period we did a lot of good things. Put a lot of pressure on them, got some really good looks. And particularly, over the last 5 minutes. But even prior to that, I thought we had some good looks. We just, you can't fall behind that much that early. And it's not even one goal. When you get down 2, just really hard to come back. We've done it before. We did it in the Colorado series, but you're playing with fire when you do that. And we got burned tonight.
Ed Greeny.
Hey, Ed.
Hey, Pete, a lot's being asked right now and of your players about what you're not doing right in the first period. Well, for the last 2 games, what do you think they are doing right? Sometimes the other side doesn't get credit for what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think they've been that's kind of their identity. I think, every team has kind of identity pieces. I think, if, for us, we're a real good second period team, have been all year.
that's an example of that. I think they're a quick starting team. I think that's part of their identity. I think that, going into game one, they had the lead in 7 straight games, I believe. So, that's part of what they do. And we've got to have an answer for that.
We have 2 more questions. Next question, Mark Spector.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Pete. They say the series doesn't really get started until the road team wins a game, right? Is this just, I know you're not sitting there thinking you're going to sweep this thing. I get that. A lot of people certainly around the league are saying that Vegas was going to walk through Montreal pretty easy. This would just be the ebb and flow of a playoff series, I assume. You win one, you lose one, and we get in the meat of this thing. Is that fair?
Yeah, those people that said we were going to sweep were the same people who said Colorado was going to sweep us. So, you don't get to the Final Four without knowing that this is going to be a battle. And if it takes overtime in 7 games, then it takes overtime in 7 games. You just want to make sure you move on. And we knew this wasn't going to be easy, and we have a tremendous amount of respect for their team. They've beaten 2 very good hockey teams to get here, and won a lot of games. So, it is what it is. We're in a better spot than we were last round after 2 games, and we'll go into Montreal and look to win a game.
Last question, Kevin McGrann.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, Pete, just curious about the power play and their penalty kill. Their penalty kill has been superb since the middle of the first round, and I know your power play has been sort of struggling. What do you do to turn that around?
Well, I don't think it's an accident. Their penalty kill has been good, as Carey Price's game has been really good. Your goalie's always your best penalty killer. So, and for us on the power play, yeah, we've got tonight's a night that you really need one from that unit, and we've got to keep working at it.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
That concludes the Vegas Golden Knights media availability. Thank you for joining.